Everyone. I'm very interactive, so if you have some particular research problems you would like to share for us to work through, please feel free to do that. Um, as Professor Dickerson said, my name is Phebe Huderson Poydras. I have been a law librarian for over 18 years. Um, and I just look back and realize how long I've been in this profession. So it's kind of funny. And you hate to think about how long you've been doing this, but 18 years. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop and ask me a question, and it'll probably help us all. Okay. We're going to start with looking at the focus of today's session. We're going to first review the legal research process. We're going to start looking at effective database research strategies. And we're going to do that by looking at the natural language and the terms connected searches. We're going to run a search. And if we have time, we're going to look at internet resources. I hope everybody feels comfortable with this. It's basically, I have one question. Okay. Professor Dickerson, would you mind asking me what that question is?
Oh, no, that was me writing in the chat.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. Every time I see that thing, I said, let me stop. Okay, so I'm not going to stay long on this because I know you remember this from research class or some form of this. Okay, but the research process, we have to start with preliminary information first before we run up to electronic database and start typing on Westlaw, Lexis, or Bloomberg, or any other resource that we're using. We have to take a moment and get the preliminary information together first because it's going to help us do the research, and it's going to be cost effective and time saving. So we're going to look at, and it's called the TART rule. So everybody seems to remember that. So the T is the thing or the subject matter. The A is the cause of action, the relief sought, and the persons involved. So you put all these factors together and have your notes ready so we can start the process of looking at the research. So of course, after we look at the individuals and do everything with the TART rule, we have to locate the law. So you remember from class, we had primary sources and secondary sources. I'm not going to go over this with you because I know it's all familiar to you, so I'm not going to waste your time. But remember, we have to always find a primary source, and it has to be mandatory because we have to file one. But if it's a subject area that you're unfamiliar with, use secondary sources, and the secondary sources will quickly bring you up to speed. Now, as we go through the PowerPoint, when we do the natural language and the terms connector search, we can use these techniques in both primary and secondary sources. Now, and finally, we'll update and with the conclusion. When we updated it, we'll look at the B site, which is the Bloomberg citation. We'll look at Bad Law Bot, which goes with Fast Case. We'll look at Key Site, which goes with West Law, and Shepherdized, which goes with Lexis. These are all your citators to help you understand whether the law is good. And then we'll finally do the conclusion, and we're ready to write everything up and be able to advise the client or your supervising attorney the best course of action. So let's look at natural language search. Natural language search is just what it means. It's the regular language you'll speak to put into a search engine. If you notice the databases now, they're very user-friendly, and it's almost like a Google look as you search. So the natural language helps you type in, and it gets you ready to see what the type of terms that you're dealing with. Now, terms and connector, it focuses your search. So you put these terms and connectors together to limit your search and bring back the information you need. Now, this will help as a cost-saving technique, and it will help you not waste time or waste your client's time or waste your supervising attorney's time by spending so much money because you have to bill someone for this. So the pros and cons. With natural language, which, like I said, is a good place to start. Terms and connectors. A well-constructed terms and connector search may find out you otherwise would have missed. But with the natural language, you can't always narrow the search term. And it doesn't always find the results because you're just throwing things out there and you have to put everything in context. Now with terms and connectors, you can narrow the source. After you look at the source, sometimes you can help you put in It'll help you move you in the direction you're supposed to be. But sometimes you're too narrow in your terms of connected search, which may prove your results may be like, make you stumped and think that you can't find the correct information. So we're going to look at the computer-aided legal resources, Bloomberg, Fastcase, Lexis, and Westlaw. We're going to look at their terms and connectors, their natural language. And after we finish this, we're going to run a search. And we're going to see how the searches come back. Now, with Bloomberg, it automatically sends you to natural language unless you ask for the terms and connectors. And these terms and connectors should all look similar to you, because you see the and sign, which means it includes all the terms, the or, the not sign, the parentheses when you're combining, the quotations for exact phrase matching, and you have the exact phrase matching with a case sensitive. You have the asterisk for the wildcard. You have the multiple character wildcard, which means you can expand it. You can put it in the middle to put like derivatives of the words you're looking for. You have the index, which say within a certain number of words, you want to find these two results together, and so on. These are all available in the PowerPoint, but when you do your research, you'll find that it's going to start limiting what comes back and then bring it more on point to what you want. Now with Fastcase is very simple in the way it does things. Natural languages is default, but the terms collectors are very similar to what you just saw with Bloomberg, but it just doesn't have as many. For instance, within two is the same as within next. Within 2 words, you want this. LexisNexis, natural language is default, but you get the exact similar as other terms and connectors, limiting, telling you what you want, the and not, which gives you a little thing, I want this back, but not that. And Nexus also has connector priority. So it tells you, it gives you a priority when you search. So you may see things not coming back, but it's based on your priority and how it sees the connectors you use. Then we have Westlaw, which has plain language search. That's what they call it, but it's really natural language. And so what you can do is you put quotation marks, you can exclude terms, you can use the plus sign. All of this will bring you what you need with the, additional information. Westlaw also has its Boolean and its terms connector search, similar to the other ones, to other vendors. They're quite similar, just slightly different in terms. You just have to be mindful what database you're on. Also with Westlaw, if you find something, they ask you to do advanced search, and advanced search will also help you limit your the material you want. Now, we're going to run a search right now. Professor Dixon, do you see my screen?
We're still on the PowerPoint.
Okay. I used the Southern's access to the library because it brings all the databases together, so I wouldn't have to type in their names in it one by one. So let's look at Bloomberg Law. This is a question. Does any of the participants use Bloomberg Law? Does anybody use Bloomberg?
No one has raised their hand.
Okay. Okay. As you see, some of the perks and benefits of Bloomberg Law, it gives you new search, and you also can access the books and treatises, and also it gives you access to BNA reporters. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the using the terms and connectors. For instance, say you have something that issue causes a dog bite. If you put dog bite in, it's already going to look at it as natural language, and it's going to go in and search. Now it gives you quarter billion, the whole array of iteration, concerning the dog bite. But let's go back and say I'm just going to limit it to court opinions. And I'm going to use this because it's advanced search, and this is the way that Bloomberg sets it up. Bloomberg also, I know some people think Bloomberg is kind of convoluted, but those people who do a lot of business and news research really like it. So say we just do dog bite. We're going to click on this by all state courts, click on Louisiana, and then we're going to run a search. Now, as you see, we said dog bite, it did a natural language search, but look at the results. It's just showing you everything with a bite and a dog all through it. There's some with a dog bite, there's some, but that's it's not really what you're looking for. So say we redo the search. And say, I want dog bite, but I want it within 2. A bite. Now it gives you in the order that you want. And as you notice, they'll tell you the green plus, which means it's good. The red lets you know there's some warning here that we need to talk. You can go to the left side and you can limit the areas you want. If you wanted to go into torts, or you want damages and remedies to see what damages and remedies resulted from this, you can look at it through here. Does anybody want to volunteer a topic so we can look in Bloomberg, just for comparison's sake? Nobody want to volunteer a topic?
You can raise your hand and we can allow you to speak. Or I can promote everyone to panelist, and that way everybody will be on here. Whatever you desire, Director Huderson Poydras.
Well, I'm usually interactive in my classes. So if they would like to, maybe a panelist. So, I mean, you know, we could do a research that they may be interested in, an area, so we can, everybody would see how it flows. Because right now I'm just giving you a general one, but there might be some more specific ones. All right, then. Professor Dickerson, do you have one?
You know, my favorite topic of all time has to do with cannabis. So,
so what do you want to know about cannabis?
Let's talk about cannabis and employment law.
Okay. So let's do, if we do a general search, remember I said before, it automatically defaults to natural language, right? Cannabis, employment law. Do a search. And you see what comes. So this is not helpful. So what we can do is cannabis within 2, employment law, and see what comes. See, it told me it couldn't find anything. So let's do this. Cannabis within the same paragraph, employment law. Did I do the wrong state or something? I did all Louisiana court. Oh, we don't have it. Okay.
Oh, no, we don't have any. We have not had any litigation dealing with the use of cannabis and employment in Louisiana. We don't have any legislative, any legislative actions or anything. So Connecticut, New York, California, those would be. Arkansas has some laws pertaining to protections for employment, but yeah, Louisiana, you won't find any here.
Okay, let's just do all state courts. Then cannabis, employment. Yeah, so see, it comes up as a natural language search, but now we need it to be a little more precise. Can y'all still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to say within two. Still can't find it. So we're going to do this within the same paragraph. And there we go. Okay, so when I said within two, what I would say within 2 words, but now I said I need to broaden that and expand it. And so I have to put it in the same paragraph. So we will walk through and we'll see employment. They'll say employment. There'll be some, but we still, there it is. We see cannabis and employment as we go down. Okay. We can limit it to the size. As you can see, we can limit it to a court in specific jurisdiction. Any other questions? Anybody else wants to see something? Okay.
Mr. Counsel, I see you have your microphone off, or Professor Richardson, or maybe y'all just are unmuted. I have a couple of people who are unmuted, so I didn't know if they had any questions.
Okay. All right, let's go back to.
Okay, so nobody does.
Okay. Okay, let's go back. Let's do fast case. Now, I believe fast case is free to Louisiana, right? Louisiana attorneys?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so maybe everybody will be more interested in fast case. How many people have used fast case? It must be because this is at 4 o'clock. Okay. So
everybody's probably just a little shy. I've used fast case before.
Okay. So fast case, it's just like as you see in this the base, it's telling you type keyword and natural language, of course, our citation. It goes specifically to let you know that it's going to do a natural language search. So if we go ahead and look at cannabis.
Are you on fast case right now?
Yeah, you don't see it?
No.
Okay. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. I just did just simple search for cannabis and you see what comes back. The cases, materials, all the things that's listed with cannabis. Okay. If you notice to the side, the left side, we can limit this. You can look at the briefs and motions and orders. You can look at a date, train, suggested terms, and you can limit it. Whenever you have a question, you can always go into the question part of fast case, and it will give you Boolean tips. So these tips, can y'all see the tips? Can you see this, Professor Dickerson?
Yes.
Okay. So with these tips, we'll give you examples of how to formulate your research to pull back the information that you need. Just to let you know, if you have a question and you are stumped and you just want somebody to work out the question with you, feel free to call the library. The libraries are very friendly and they will help. And if you notice, if you go to the library website, we have a chat box where librarian is on duty to help for reference. So if you have a quick question and you need some help, feel free just to type it in and we are willing to help. So you notice that we have the different searches. So let's do. I'm sorry. Let's do cannabis and employment. Okay. So we are pulling up, but nothing's together. You have separate information. This is still Louisiana. I locked everything to Louisiana, but I was curious. I just wanted to see if it came out on this search engine. Okay, so you have cannabis or let's try something different. Let's look at copyright and see how copyright is treated here. We have tons of everything for copyright. Copyright. Within the same paragraph, let's try infringement. We find articles specify on copyright infringement. We have different, you can narrow your search to your left to make it more on point. to see what you may want for your particular problem. Okay. Okay. Professor Dickerson, can you see my screen again? I'm sorry, I have to keep asking this.
Oh, no problem.
I'm back on the library side. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can see.
Okay. As you can see, Lexis has had a couple of changes that's going through these days. It's looking quite different. But as you can see, also, it starts off with a simple natural language search as well. So you can do dog bite again. Keep using dog bite, but that's like, and then you can see legal phrases will just like Google, it'll anticipate what you're looking for. And so you can see they have cases. You can have the different, on the left side, teach you the different things to narrow it, and other information. Now we're on Lexis. Does anybody have a question if they want to search in Lexis? Okay, Professor Dickerson, you want to search anything?
Let's talk about veterans and education rights, or veterans and education something or another.
Okay, simple search, but notice the way they have to, they give you a highlight to say the depth of everything and how things are being used. This is a nice addition because it helps you not waste your time in doing your research, because you can tell by the way they're doing it how well they're treating the search term that you're using. Right. Everybody's real. Okay. And last, but let's look at Westlaw. This is one that most students love, or most students are, so I figure when they're working, they probably, you guys all probably remember this. But with Westlaw gives you search tips, and it helps you go into the advanced to help you know what your terms and connector searches are. So it's already located to your right side. So it also helps you narrow everything down. It also has a thesaurus to focus your research. So really, by you putting the advanced together, it really reduces the number of times spent researching. Notice the results. The veterans education. It said you wanted to search. I wanted it to search all the information, so it brought back all the information it had. Notice the indicators for citation to let you know how everything stands. Okay, let me go back to my PowerPoint. This is funny. Okay. Now, any questions so far? Professor Dickerson?
Not right now for me, but if anyone else has any questions.
Okay. All right. So that's the time I wanted to talk about free resources that are available. The resources I showed you earlier, of course, as a student, you had access to it nonstop. And for the students who graduated this past May, they still have access to it for a year. But let's talk about people who do not have access to that type of material, and financially they need to find resources to help find information. Um, let's look at the first one. These are internet resources. This is a National Center for State Courts. And they have publications in libraries and a whole array of information that can help. There's an collection that is very impressive. And if you go through the e-collection, you'll find various resources on various topics. As you look to the left, you'll see they have technology, for instance, judicial officers, federal relations, and things like that, and information that's right there at your fingertips. These are just a small assortment of information available for free that's out there. If you search through it, you can find that the library collection is very impressive. It also has other information. For instance, it has resources that you can that you can use for access to different courts. It provides webinars, and it provides a whole slew of information to help you, especially for those who are academics. And then you have also, if you look at the left, the Justice System Journal and other newsletters that are important secondary sources.
I do have a question, Director Huderson, Poydras.
Sure.
So if I am a practicing attorney, I know you said that you have your very friendly librarians who are willing to assist. But if I have a case in which I need to conduct some research during COVID and during COVID restrictions times, am I still allowed to come in to the library, or would you all prefer us to use the chat function?
The chat function for quick questions, but if you need to do an exhaustive resource, you can call to come in. And so long as we keep the numbers at the numbers we're supposed to have in the library, you're welcome to come and use the resources. You just have to call first so we can monitor how things are ever changing. We've had alumni in here this week, so I'm more than sure they know they could come in. Okay, and this is Municode. Professor Dickerson, can you see this, my screen?
No, we're still on the PowerPoint slide.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sometimes it looks like it flows with me, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, this is Municode, and this is ordinances and city charters from local government. If you have a matter, open container laws, certain like that, you can go here to see what the ordinances say on that matter, and it's free. So if you go here, you can look into the different parishes and find what their local charters say. And the local charters will give you the information you need concerning that matter. And this is a new project that was created, and it's called the Case Law Access Project. And the purpose of the project is to provide access to case law for individuals who otherwise wouldn't have this information available to them. This is the Louisiana portion. This is the information that they have uploaded concerning Louisiana. They have up into the third series of the Southern Reporter to 2018. And the goal is, just like I said earlier, is to ensure access to legal information to everyone. So if you look at this site, if you're in a different jurisdiction, you need to see something quickly, you'll notice that these information is available. The next is VLEX. VLEX is attempt to also offer low-cost legal information to individuals who may need access. If you notice at the top, it has someone who gives you highlights on documents, and also, of course, you can upgrade to a paid version, but this version allows you to find information at a low-cost price. For instance, you can get the case law statutes, browse by court, and you can look at the information if you have the citation information and find the information that you need. Is there any questions? No more questions?
I don't think we have any at this time.
And finally, it's the Library of Congress. The Library of Congress, of course, tries to bring as much information as possible to a one-stop shopping area. It has, as you can see from the links, it has international information, federal and state territories. It also has professional congressional researchers who research topics of interest and background information for researchers, so they can have a starting point and get an objective viewpoint of a particular subject matter. Well, let's look at it. If you look at the different legal reports, they'll have the current legal topics, and then if all falls onto a certain area. Okay, any questions? Anything I need to go over? Professor Dickerson?
No, I think that covered free access for people who are not able to pay into Westlaw, LexisNexis, or any other paid research engine. Mm-hmm. The help that the law library or the assistance that's available at the law library here on campus. Research tools as to how to research. Is there a difference, because you said paragraphs, is there a way that you can search for like the most recent
yeah, you can limit it. You can limit some of the databases. You can limit to like the last 5 years, and you could do limited for date specific. So you'll do after January 1, 2020, and you'll get everything that fell after that date.
One other question. Are there any notification systems set up on any of these research engines that may give us alerts if there is a particular area that we practice in more than another?
They all provide. You are correct. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No problem.
But they all provide alerts. And if you need a little help setting up your alerts, feel free to call us. The alerts are very like a lot of the professors use the alerts because what they're writing in. But yes, each one of them sets up alerts.
That's very helpful.
Well, I thought we was going to be in here alone. I thought we was going to have more questions, but
does anyone have any questions pertaining to anything? You can, the Q&A button has an anonymous function. So if you just want to, put something out there and you don't want to have anyone know it's you asking the question, it even comes up anonymous to everybody. Well, actually everybody's a panel, but it comes up anonymous on the panel discussion. So if anybody has any questions, comments. All right, well.
I think it's 4 o'clock and nobody wants to do anything. I'm going to take a moment to highlight the library. Alumni, feel free to visit us. If you look at the resources that we have developed as a part of the collection, I think you would be greatly proud. And the resources are greeted with much appreciation from students. Also, we have a whole array of form books and other information that I think you guys could find very helpful. I think there's some questions.
Here we go. Can we get a copy of the PowerPoint? The PowerPoint is on the in the PDF format. Let me show you where it is. I'm gonna share. Could you stop sharing your screen?
I'm sorry.
No. I just need to show everyone.
I'm a librarian. I sell my library.
So if you go to the portal where it says course handouts, you will see the legal research presentation and you will be able to download it. So that's where it is under course materials. But if you can't get access to it, then I can send it to you and for everyone who's registered for legal research. The other question we have is, when searching using terms and connectors, do you exclude the irrelevant words, i.e. the or it?
Depending on the database, it excludes it for you. So I would exclude it, but they already do that. Some of the words they use, they already see it as non-essential and they get rid of it. If anybody wants to just call me later, we could run a research for you, and we can run a search 101, because we could do a personal Zoom call and I could do that.
So that's a wonderful, the SULC Law Library is a wonderful resource. And of course it is available to our alumni for use.
And we have a wonderful staff.
Yes, we have
librarians. You're gonna love the librarians. They're very helpful and they try to get you the information that you need and the knowledge that you need.
I'm muted. So if no one else has any questions or any comments or anything for Director Huderson Poydras, we are going to